Really good.
So are you, always see you and usually you're in Europe somewhere.
Well, everybody has to
Make sure your
come
phones are on
back and
silent.
replenish.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, going away for a while and then you need a sharp break from your vacation.
Yeah. Can I ask you something before the doctor call? I have a really unusual thing, and I'll protest the doctor call.
Yes.
It's the woman that was arrested in Miami that John Carroll has talked to you about. I have her president.
Okay.
We're going to announce, but I'll approach her again.
Okay, sure.
You doing okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing great.
Good.
It's a beautiful morning today, and yesterday was a beautiful day as well.
I always like seeing what you're up to on
Yeah,
social media.
yeah, I'm still, I always do my best to still make sure, well, always to go out in the community and try to let people know what judges actually do. But then between that and teaching at UTSA, it's long hours.
Stretch a bit, yeah.
Oh, it does. But it's always rejuvenating, especially, going to church on Sunday and everything. Yeah.
Good.
All right, everyone. It is 9 a.m. I'm going to call the docket. Let me know you're here. If you're not here, I'm going to assume that you're not here, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. And we have a jury scheduled today. Jonathan Nicholas.
Here.
Thank you. In custody, we have Eliseo Perez Rodriguez, Gilberto Sanchez, Kadir Ghana. I saw him. He was down at the other end of the hallway. I don't know why his attorney has him down there. But when he comes in, put him on the front row. Alberto Trevino. Victor Del Toro. Del Toro. I was adding more syllables to your name. Jaden Green. Jaden Green. Migdalia Salazar. Fidel Ayala. Darren Doze. Christopher Gonzalez. Christopher Gonzalez. All right. In custody, we have Gilbert Gonzalez. Roberto Mendoza Pettis in custody. Eddie Marin. Elsa Becerra. Elsa Becerra. In custody, we have Luis Patrick Contreras. Andres Diaz. Dideni Yarborough. I hope I'm pronouncing your first name correctly. If not, let me know. Roger Neek Jones. Roger Neek Jones. Stephen Neely is in custody. Sonia Hunt, custody. Christopher Balcazar. Christopher Balcazar. Zachary Sanchez. In custody, we have Chris Lynn. Wayne Tolliver. William Chapman is in custody. Eleanor Arzola.
That's compliance here, 11 a.m.
All right, thank you. And then on Robert Hellstead.
That one, we were not meant to hear. Can we talk about that?
That was like a-
Yes.
Same for Sean White and Zane Hernandez, 11 a.m.
Okay.
Sorry.
In custody, we have Jorge Macias, Brandon Sierra, Hannah Smith, Justin Stegmeyer, Jason Golfo, Jonathan Nicholas.
I got pulled already.
All right, thank you. You're on the docket twice. Xavier Garcia. Fabian Cardenas. Fabian Cardenas. Tyrone Shepard is in custody. All right, thank you. All right, anyone who came in late or your name was not called? Yes. Okay, you're late, Mr. Green. All right,
They call me a Fanny Stewart,
I'm sorry.
Fanny Stewart.
For you?
Yeah, they don't call me
All right, what's your last name?
Stewart, a
All right, just have a seat. Will, do you know who your attorney is? All right, just have a seat. We'll get with you. Yes.
Also, okay.
All right, so you need to take the seat on the first row. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting up a jury trial. So please confer. The files are, wait, time, stop. The files are here. There are files here. I try to keep the center of the room as least congested as possible. So this is the way the 187 District Court runs. Just grab your file, place it on the table of whatever prosecutor you need to speak to. They're going to call you in the order of appearance. First come, first serve. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with the state or conferred with your client. If your client is in custody and you think you're getting a reset, you still need to have your client requested to be brought out. Once you request your client to come out, do not leave the courtroom because it's difficult for the deputies to bring them out and then have to take them back. If you have someone who does not speak the English language or prefers to use an interpreter, whether you speak their language or not, the interpreter needs to be called. And that's the only exception to somebody leapfrogging over someone is if they need an interpreter. And the reason that's done is because we have a shortage of interpreters and they're requested in a lot of the other courts. Otherwise, it would still be first come, first serve. Please do not approach Ms. Ferguson asking for a reset or a continuance. I'm the only person who can do that. Are there any persons in this courtroom who are going to be on the jury panel? If you are a juror, you need to wait outside. And sir, what is your name? All right, are you on the docket today? You're late, you need to be on the first row. All right, everyone, please confer. And be patient and kind to each other. Hello. Oh, before approaching, you need to have the clerk pull the file.
It was just on one piece.
Yeah, the other one. The other one got
All right, and just have a seat. I'll call you up when I'm ready.
No, John Carroll. He's from John, so he's on cruise. Unfortunately, they're around in Florida. Well, like that. Far. No, it's off. Thank you.
John,
Well, that also.
yeah, that's pretty well. I guess it's called. I had us started a trial down in front of Judge Angela. And for 11, 9:30, and some kind of. Yes, she's not very bad.
Yeah.
I thought we just asked, does anybody have questions? Nick, what is that?
But I actually ordered one.
Oh,
I don't have to do it.
I had no like, I was like, I don't know, I was like, I'm trying to. So like I'm dating now. Yeah. So I guess.
Yeah, training clicker.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
All right, who's here on Tyrone Shepherd? Yes, where's your client? All right, have you asked him to be brought out?
I have not yet judged. This is simply a motion to set bond in this case that's agreed to with the prosecutor, but I'm willing to wait if you prefer that.
All right, he's been brought over?
He was supposed to be brought over this morning, yes.
Oh, yeah, he needs to be brought out. Sure. Jonathan Nicholas. Who's here on Jonathan Nicholas? Well, I'm assuming they're not ready then.
Stepped out, I call Alex.
Okay,
Yeah, actually, they're right there in the, whatever that little room.
I think that's I think that's what that
I
could
like
be
that
called.
word, so.
I do too.
Give me
Yes, if they want to be heard. All right, and if there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside if you're a juror. If you came in late, you need to find your seat on the first row.
And Judge, just to let you know, this is also I forgot which prosecutor, I think. It's
Denise
Harrison case.
Okay,
I don't know which all needed.
We were set
Mhm.
to report back on an expert
yes.
and
And is your client on the docket today? Where's your client?
He's right back there.
Come forward. People, when you come forward, bring your client with you.
apologies.
Sure, no problem.
It's on the NCR.
Yes,
Oh, it's two spots. Yeah, I think he's on the add-on end.
yes. And so there's an issue with your expert.
Well, yes, so he is a popular expert. He's got other lawyers that he's working for. He's got a trial in March.
Okay, let me just say this for everybody. I know people want the expert that they want, but this case is not going to be carrying on for 6 months because somebody is very popular.
He didn't give me that impression.
All right, what date is he talking about?
We could get to the end of March.
What conditions is he on? Because I have concerns about, I don't take any of the allegations as true. But of course, I have concerns. So I want to know, is he having access to any computer and where is he staying?
Well, I think he's staying with his grandmother. Mom, sorry. With his mom. He's on full house arrest. Except for doctor's appointments. And I believe Judge Brothers ordered. Oh yeah, no internet access was ordered.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Probation and Mr. Nicholas, I want you to know the new conditions I'm giving you are not addressing this motion to revoke. So the motion to revoke has not been heard. This is just me adding conditions that I don't know if the previous judge had added or not. So probation, sorry to do this to you, but based upon the allegations in the motion, I'm going to need somebody to go to that home on a regular basis. Yes.
I have probation. You ordered last time for him to come 2 times a month.
Okay.
And weekly visits.
All right. And have they been doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation, have they been doing that?
I have to see you tomorrow.
Okay.
I can make sure that they're doing it on a regular basis.
All right. Tell them that needs to be done and they need to make sure that there is no computers in that home. Sorry, your mom can't have computers. They can't be doing computers through the television where you do the internet through the TV. It just can't be done. And again, I'm not accepting these allegations as true because I haven't received any information on it. But I have to set conditions to protect the community. Yes.
They've done house visits ready. I do report every Friday.
Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this for March 21st. And we're going to see where you are. You'd love to write in your hand with the pen. They're going to give you a reset form.
I know.
All right. Don't let the ink sink into your skin. Next thing you know, it's okay. All right. We're going to come back on March 21st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just for your information, Judge, the trial that I'm doing
Mhm.
involves one of the cases in your court, Kevin Owens.
Oh,
He has misdemeanors and Judge Angelini says we're gonna do them back to back to back to back to back.
all right. See, Angelini, tell Judge Angelini that my mom and I say hello.
I sure will.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right, who's here on Jaden Green? Just one moment. All right, you're in trial lineup.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so just remain in court. We'll probably start with jury selection at 11:30.
Okay, so you'll let us know.
Yes,
Going back.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. If there's anyone, any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. Tyrone Shepherd. All right, have you conferred with the state on the disposition of these cases yet?
No, Judge.
All right, you all want to discuss this, please?
We can discuss, Your Honor.
All right.
Who's just correcting on the.
All right, if you all are discussing, then I'll hear your bond after you all have conferred.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sabaria Goldstone, off docket matter.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
John Convery, substituting for this hearing for John Carroll.
All right, we're not on the record yet. So what's going on with this case?
This young lady had a $7,500 bond set on an assault case.
Mhm.
Father Jeff in front of me. She went on a cruise and got off the cruise in Miami and was arrested on the warrant. Didn't have any idea of the warrant.
Mhm.
She made a $7,500 bond in Miami.
Okay. All right, I'm aware of all the back. I know you're giving me the backstory, but I'm aware of it because the other attorney has been coming in. So I remember.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure.
No.
So the two choices are.
John, my mind is a steel trap. I remember everything about this case.
So they haven't sent the bond up. Apparently, it might even be just what would be called an extradition bond, like for you to go turn yourself in to Texas authorities. So pursuant to that bond and keeping with that bond, that's what she's here for. The question then becomes that they haven't sent the bond up for Bear County to recognize. So it appears that, and I'm not sure the court can give a PR bond
No.
in an assault case. So the plea to the court is to realizing this is the second bond which has had been made. Because you had given permission for her to make an out-of-state bond first time, is my understanding. So if the court can make a reasonable bond, we're prepared to make it today. You know, whatever the lowest is, given the facts of this.
Well, have you checked with, because we called the person who's over extradition here,
Mhm.
because I think someone's dropping the ball with communication. And it's not the court. And it's not, I'm not saying it's the defense either. I think there's a communication issue with Florida. So my understanding is the warrant that she has is not active in the system.
Okay.
And so if you will check with the in the basement with satellite, they will let you know if the warrant is active. So my understanding, her warrant out of Bear County is listed as inactive.
Okay.
What the court did to try to help facilitate communication with Florida is it was placed in the system that your client actually made an appearance before the court.
Oh,
And we put it in the system. We gave it to her attorney who was here.
right.
Caroline printed it out and he sent it to Florida to let Florida know that, yes, she has made an appearance in Bear County.
Thank you.
So it would probably be best if you go downstairs to the satellite office is aware of this because this has been going on for a while, and find out if she is still in active status as far as the warrant is concerned. Because if she is, and the warrant is not active, then there's no need for her to make another bond. So if you all want to check on that, and then you can come back up here.
Yes, sir.
I'm here till 5.
And I'll come back. I mean, the court has a jury trial that's about to start. If the only way I could see there being need to come back is if the warrant is active, then there's still the
Sure.
question of whether it's $7,500 or $3,500.
Well, I mean, still, you can still come up here and give me an update.
I'll do it.
And if we're in jury trial, just come through that door there and we will handle the matter.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. And I believe she has her date as March 6th.
Thanks so much, 27th.
If you'll check with the court coordinator, make sure she knows the date to be back here. Okay.
It's up to the judge to decide whether she wants to consider or not. I think that's
Yes,
Bobby, again, this was set for March sixth, what we just did in regards to the bond.
yes.
So having just come now, and we get the reset on the case.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know
We don't know yet.
as far as what are the issues going to be with the bond. I like to solve problems as they appear.
She lives in Irving.
Yes.
So I do too, and that's a long way to shuttle back and forth,
Mhm.
within a couple of days to Bear County.
Well, I mean, if the bond issue are resolved, then you call the court and let them know the bond issue is resolved. If not, then she'll need to be here, because otherwise, if she's not here and that bond issue is not resolved, she may end up being picked up in Irving. And I don't think we want that.
No, but, okay, my understanding is then they can reset it if the bond. Right.
All right, you're welcome. Oops.
that was all. Threshold.
Yes, that wasn't on docket. All right, Christopher Gonzalez. Hello. All right, he's in the center.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, what is happening with this case?
Judge, got a plea offer this morning. So I'm asking for reset second. That's with my client.
All right, why were you late for court?
Oh, there's a long line outside the judge.
All right, so you're gonna have to start putting that in your time. All right, so don't be late for court.
Your Honor, can I address something?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez, and I have a copy of the report. Mr. Gonzalez, I believe, was arrested over the weekend.
Okay,
It was Leon Valley that they thought it was a violation of protective order.
mhm.
It was not, it was just a curfew violation on his GPO.
And Norma, on this case, does he have an open probation case? It seems on the docket as 2019 CR 2466.
Judge, he is on probation. That's not.
All right, so I need that file as well.
I apologize for this, but I just realized.
All right, thank you.
You're on.
Just one moment. All right, so it appears that you are violating bond conditions. All right, so we're gonna go on the record. Court is calling, please whisper, court is calling 2022 CR 10364, State of Texas versus Christopher Lee Gonzalez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Roberto Vargas or Mr. Gonzalez.
Are you Mr. Gonzalez? Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
All right, It has been brought to the court's attention that you violated your GPS. Does anyone want to address that issue, State?
Your Honor, we were informed, I believe Leon Valley Police Department actually had arrested Mr. Gonzalez over the weekend because they believed that his curfew violation rose to the level of a violation of a bond order. We ultimately rejected that at the MAG office, but I was able to obtain the police report from Leon Valley, which I tendered to the court. And it's clear that he is out at 1 o'clock in the morning, which appears to be in direct violation of his partial GPS requirements.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, he was coming home from work, like my client to state in more detail when he was coming from work.
I mean, I'm reading this that he was coming from work, but he made unauthorized stops. I mean, would he like to testify?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Christopher Gonzalez.
All right, defense.
So Gonzalez, where were you coming from at 1 o'clock in the morning?
I work for Enhanced Realty, and I just finished doing work at a condo right here off Evers and Fort Temple. I was covered in paint, and I explained to him the pretrial, let me work late, as long as I'm working and they monitor and all that, and they're like.
Oh, no, working is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
The issue is you made an unauthorized stop from work. So that's what we need to get to that point of your story.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's it. What happens is I went and got some cigarettes, and I was just coming straight home. I was 2 minutes away from the house.
So you stopped at the store to get some cigarettes?
That was it.
I mean, do you not understand your conditions?
I completely understand my conditions. The only thing, I'm working to pay this now.
Well, I mean, that's not the court's problem. And I don't have a contract with your attorney. You have your contract with your attorney, and that's your contract with your attorney. And again, GPS, you're allowed to work. You're not allowed to make additional stops.
Correct.
And your contract with him had nothing to do with you making an additional stop.
But in my defense, the preacher said I could stop if I want to stop and put gas.
You were not stopping to put gas.
I did put gas and I did.
Nope, you just told me you stopped to get cigarettes. Now you're trying to play semantics with me.
I'm
And
not trying to piss. I'm sorry.
I do not appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
You violated your conditions. You need to own up to it. The conditions I gave you are that you have a curfew. The only reason you can be outside that curfew window is for work. It's not for you to stop in different places. You know what you're charged with. I'm not
Yes, ma'am.
taking this charge as true because I don't have any evidence before me. But part of my duty as a judge is to make sure the community is protected when people come before me before charges.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
And you're charged with
Yes,
this
ma'am.
case. So there are rules.
Yes.
So here's the thing. You can follow my rules and I can make sure you follow my rules by making sure you meet your curfew. You know how I'll make sure you meet your curfew? How?
Yes, take away my grievance.
Yeah. The jail, you can be at the jail and you'll have a curfew at the jail. They tell you when to get up in the morning. They tell you when lights are out, and then they'll bring you to court. And guess what? They're not going to make any stops for cigarettes.
I'm completely sorry. Will never happen anymore. Sorry.
State.
Your Honor, I'm just learning about this incident myself in detail, Your Honor. Obviously, we do have concerns that he is out at 1 o'clock in the morning outside of his curfew. And it doesn't appear that he had received permission for that from the report. And I mean, the state would request a bond increase or even moving back to full house GPS. Can't.
All right. All right. The court did give you permission to work, but no permissions for any other stops.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your first violation.
Yes, ma'am. In 2
If-
years.
Here's the thing. I don't know why you keep interrupting to add something to make
Yes, ma'am.
as though you're doing great. You're not doing great. You violated the court's orders.
Yes, yes, sorry.
And what I'm telling you is The court's orders are the court's orders. And you are only allowed outside your curfew if you're at work. And now I'm going to shorten your curfew time, whether you're at work or not. So 1 a.m. is off the table for you. So your curfew now is going to end no later than 9 p.m. If you are not back at your house by 9:30 p.m., I'm going to get a violation report, and we're going to address that violation report while you're in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So your hours of out, and it's only for work. It's from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. because that'll give you 30 minutes to get back home. And there are to be no stops. That's specifically for work. And the state will tell you, and I'm sure your attorney will tell you, that when I have people on GPS, I slowly will loosen the reins a little bit, but if you're violating your conditions, it's not going to happen. So you're going back a step, and your curfew is 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and you cannot be out of the house outside those windows of time. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And where are we on this case? So an offer has been tendered.
Yes, I gave them an offer this morning, Your Honor.
And he is also on probation. For probation, if you add those conditions to his probation, that is curfew, 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe we did a discovery acknowledgement,
Let me check the file.
maybe mistaken. If not, I'll.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Okay.
And Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on this for a plea deadline date, please? All right, March 30th is your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. All right, and probation is going to have you sign your extended conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, you too. All right, thank you. William Chapman. And if there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. Right, and so we're here on a motion to reinstate bond, and I believe your witness is in the breakout room. Just one moment.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rudy's iPhone, what is his name?
I actually didn't catch the last name, Your Honor. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
Rudy Ramirez.
Are you Rudy Ramirez? Are you able to hear us? I think we're going to have another tech issue. I think he's answering my text messages. He's connecting to audio. All right, are you able to hear us now?
Yes, I'm able to hear now.
All right, and now for some reason on our end, we can't hear him. All right, do you have his phone number?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
just give me one moment. Court is calling 2022 CR 11445, State of Texas versus William Chapman. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Proven revocation.
Defense?
Mario Moreno for the defendant.
And we have a witness by Zoom, Rudy Ramirez. For some reason, on the court's end, we can't hear Mr. Ramirez, but I know in the universe, other people can hear. So what we're going to do is, if you'll call Mr. Ramirez by phone, is there any objection to Mr. Ramirez being by phone? Mr. Ramirez, an attorney is going to call you by phone, and then we'll take your testimony that way.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we're going to have to get checked to see what's going on with this. All right, can
Okay.
you answer again?
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. Can you hear me now or no?
Speakerphone, Your Honor.
Sure.
Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, if you'll place him on speaker, please.
He muted himself.
Don't bring this up.
Oh, no, you're very, I'm sorry. I thought you meant-
I was going to put it there.
He muted himself.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, are you able to hear us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we are here on a motion to reinstate bond. Where we left off previously, Mr. Chapman said that there was an accident. And exhibits were presented, not offered into evidence, but the defense wanted the court to review some exhibits. Would you like those admitted?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, the defense would request to have defense to.
Any objection? All right, so what the court has is exhibit 1. And there are 2 exhibits that are labeled exhibit 2. And the court is reviewing exhibit 1 and exhibit 2 and exhibit 2, and both show a damaged vehicle. Counsel, we have that to court reporter. All right, and the court had some questions before the court would consider reinstating Mr. Chapman's bond. And Mr. Ramirez has just signed off. Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
All right, I need your video back up on the screen. Are you able to do that, please?
Okay.
Mr. Ramirez, are you logged on to Zoom through your cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, that's better.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ramirez, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state your name for the record. Defense, yes.
Mr. Ramirez, good morning. What is your relationship with Mr. William Chapman?
His brother being my sister.
Do you know what Mr. Chapman does for a living?
That's he.
Have you ever used Mr. Chapman's services?
Yes.
Have you reached out to Mr. Chapman this year for the third?
Early this year, the beginning of the year, the very first week of January. So
Do you have a specific date that you can remember?
not necessarily. I don't recall.
Well, you said it was early this year, the first week of January.
Yes.
What services did you request from Mr. Chapman?
Treacher
At what address?
at 1.929 Adams Street, Lyman, Texas.
Whose property is that address? Your property, is that your residence?
No,
It's just a property that you own,
yes, on the first, yes.
that you're aware of, did Mr. Chapman make it out to the property that day?
No, I would request.
Uh, Did he reach back to you? Oh, let me go back, I'm sorry. So when you had Mr. Chapman go out to that property, was it for him to actually conduct the work of tree trimming on that day?
I didn't test it, and then, later on, I would get back to me. Bring it up on action price for the work.
Why didn't Mr. Chapman get back to you with that quote?
I later learned that he was the price, but I didn't actually learn that till the next day.
Did you learn it the following day?
Yes.
I'll pass it.
Mr. Ramirez, Your Honor, if I can, you can see the exhibits extended by counsel.
Court reporter has exhibits.
And Mr. Ramirez, you live near the intersection of Somerset and Main Street, correct? In Lytle, Texas?
That's where my house is at, it's on right there, that area.
And you stated that Mr. Chapman never arrived at your house to perform the estimate that you requested, is that correct?
I didn't get back to the enterprise after like that. Okay.
And were you present at the time that Mr. Chapman was involved in the alleged accident?
No.
Do you know who else was in the vehicle at the time that Mr. Chapman was in during the alleged accident?
No.
And about what time did was Mr. Chapman supposed to arrive at your location?
I mean, I just want to check it out, we verbally discussed it prior and.
Have a seat.
I never got a response back.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. No further questions. Dan.
Any further follow-up? Just to confirm, Mr. Ramirez, you said that this was a verbal agreement that you had with Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
but it was an agreement that the two of you had that on that day, he would go out to review your property for a quote on future.
Right, well, I mean, I knew he was gonna head out that day, we discussed it earlier that day.
Thank you, sir. No further. Thank you. Thank you for testifying. You can be excused. Thank you. All right, any other witnesses? No witness, no more witnesses. Say any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court will do. The court will reinstate the bond. It'll be GPS, partial or employment only. Mr. Chapman. The court has seen the photographs. I see that there was a accident. I understand. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that you stay in contact. The thing that you should have done when you had that accident after the police were called, the next thing you should have done is call your pretrial services off. Do not come back here again for this. You understand? All right, so I'm going to reinstate your bond, but there's going to be GPS. And that will be for employment only. And then once he's proven that he can follow the rules, then the court will reconsider any other motions that are brought forth. And state, I'm assuming there's still a no contact order with the complainant.
I'm checking on that right now. I do believe it is still active.
So there's still a no contact order with the complainant. And have you all received an offer from the state on this case?
I believe there was an offer in the file when I reviewed it earlier today, Your Honor. I don't know if that's an updated offer. But I will get with the state. During recess for the ceremony.
All right, if you all have conferred, then approach back after you conferred. And then I'll give you your date if you get.
One quick question for the answer owner. I don't know if the GPS fees have been waived. I think the question is.
I'll ask that they be waived, but it's a third party contract. The only thing I can do is ask that they be waived and deferred, and then let's see what happens.
Oh, never mind.
All right, thank you. Fabian Cardenas.
Not yet.
And council just approach the clerk when you're ready to approach again. If there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. Oh, they're gonna approach you again. All right, Fabian Cardenas, what is happening with this case?
Good morning, Your Honor. I believe today was the deadline date. I've discussed it with Mr. Cardenas.
And we can step in and send it to whatever.
You don't have anything that this.
All right, did you receive all the discovery?
I have this.
All right, state, I need an acknowledgement of discovery file. And say, how long do you expect this jury trial to last?
Yeah.
Probably 2 to 3 years.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date for Mr. Fabian Cardenas.
They can come back on April 3rd.
All right, the jury trial date is going to be on April 3rd. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargaining agreements in this case without the cause. Do you understand?
No.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ferguson will be your reset on the year sheets.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, and Mr. Cardenas? Mr. Cardenas? You were late for court. Do not be late for court again, you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Tyrone Shepherd. Come on. Our audio is off. Mom said it needs to go back to the way it was before.
Which one was it? This, I don't know, the one.
In just a moment, we're just having slight technical issues with audio.
No problem.
Okay. All right, I think that is done. Just give us a second. Mute us, please. All right. All right, so Tyrone Shepherd, what's happening with Tyrone Shepherd?
Yes, Judge, we're able to confirm briefly, and the state has made an offer to Mr. Shepherd, which we're discussing currently, but we're currently, especially here on making that bond. Mr. Shepherd was found incompetent to stand
All
trial.
right, just 1 second, one thing at a time. So an offer has been tendered
That's correct, Judge.
And that offer is inclusive of both cases.
It would, yeah.
Okay. All right, and then he's been deemed competent and you're asking for a motion to set bond?
That's correct, Judge. He was found incompetent to stand trial in October of 2021. He was detained and held with the intention of being sent to the state hospital. Since that time period, he was found competent without pursuing any treatments in just like a week ago.
All right, so here's the thing about his being found competent. I need a specific order from the magistrate court saying that he's been declared competent.
It should be in that case, Judge. He was found competent by Judge Carruthers. And bond was reassessed in one case. We're here before the court today because it appears that it's just
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I do. We're on the same page, but what I'm saying is I need an order in my hand. And you may want to see if the clerk has it, saying that he was deemed to be competent because I take you at your word. You're an officer of court. I believe Judge Carruthers has determined that he's competent, but legally I need the order that says that. Otherwise, I can't issue a bond for him. Because based upon what he's charged with, he is not entitled to one if he was not deemed to be competent. And that's just based upon the nature of the charge. So I'm sure there's an order in the system. So, and it needs to be, I see what you have there, but it needs to be an order signed by Judge Carruthers. We will get this taken care of today.
Thank you, Judge.
So if you want to go down to Judge Carruthers Court, if there's not a specific order for this file, and go down to Judge Carruthers Court and ask for an order, then I will be able to address the bond issue. But because of the nature of his offense, if he's deemed to be incompetent, he's not entitled to a bond. He has to go to the facility to regain competency. So until I have an order that shows that he's regained competency, I can't handle this bond.
I understand, Judge. My understanding was that that order is included in the state's or the court's file, but I'm happy to look through it.
Sure, if you will make sure. And now I understand that sometimes people will check a box, but it has to be a specific order. So we will take care of this today. So don't worry, it's going to happen today. But I just need to make sure that legally everything is in order. Okay. All right. All right.
Is that the court's file, man?
Yes.
Judge, I'm happy to go through it. My understanding was that there was an order in both cases. In this case that we're here before you today, just
Okay.
didn't get bond set.
All right.
An order from the magistrate court's finding
And Caroline, it has to be a actual order. It can't be a box that somebody's checked.
It's not, it's a straightforward. I'm not like solve. I text Chandler, but I don't, who else did I text? Travis. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, no problem.
Hello. Thank you very much. Okay, let me look and see. If not, you're handling things that are not even on the docket. How efficient are we?
We'll get it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, right? Okay. You're welcome. Okay, let me check. And Norma, am I the only person who finds it extremely hot in the courtroom today? Thank you. You know, are we gonna have to like buy our own ceiling fan or something?
That's how it went on the docket.
All right, Andres Diaz. Is he still in the courtroom? If you could come forward. All right, Mr. Diaz, your case has been dismissed. Here's the thing. You're probably happy your case has been dismissed. Don't come back to court anymore for this. You understand? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. State on Roger Neek Jones. That case was dismissed, but I see that she has the night mag, the 693244. Is that still in the process of whatever's happening with that?
Yeah, Judge, this is still be remain open.
Okay.
Might be assigned to this court, it might not be.
All right. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Yes, we're here on Brandon Sierra. Yes.
Oh, you need to, if you're ready to proceed, you need to have them pull the file.
Okay, I'm sorry you asked me.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm just like, hey,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
always good seeing you.
Yes, likewise.
And Norma, there is a lady here by the name, I think it's Fanny Asteria. She's the lady in the black sweater with the pinkish top or fuchsia top. And I don't see her anywhere in the docket. If you are a juror, there's a sign on the door that said you need to wait outside. So all jurors, please wait outside. Brandon Sierra. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we were asked to come back today. for the
Yes.
trial.
Yes. Oh, and he's in the center and you're on this side. That's okay. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, we were asked to come back today for trial.
Okay.
So we're
Yes.
back. And
All
so-
right. Well, just wait and thank you. Gilbert Gonzalez. All right, what is happening with this case?
Just we need a few deadlines.
Okay. All right, have you received an offer?
Yes,
Do you have all the discovery?
please. So.
All right, State and Gilbert Gonzalez, he has two cases. The court needs an acknowledgement of discovery.
Okay.
Thank you. Miss Ferguson, excuse me, where are you guys going? Do you have a date? Did y'all leave without a date? I think so.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I would need the discovery knowledge.
Miss Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date on Gilbert Gonzalez. All right, March 30th is your plea deadline date. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after that date. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand? That's either yes or no. Are you able to speak? All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My question is, Judge.
Yes.
That's actually that we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me one moment. All right, I think they corrected it, correct?
I corrected it. They said it can't go back to them because it's pay as is. So
Okay.
I just think.
They sent me an email.
Okay. I guess you just need to write another, I guess.
All right,
Thanks, Judge.
you're welcome. All right, if there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside in the hallway. Darren Doze. Yes.
Mr. Doe,
Hello.
how are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great.
I actually spoken. I'm in the middle of this. I've spoken to the judge. I apologize. I thought she was still in the courtroom. She's not.
Okay.
She's new on the case. I've been dealing with Michael Villarreal. She wants to talk to upper administration to give me a more realistic offer so we can make a decision on the case, but I don't have that just yet. And I anticipate that there's probably she'll need a little, at least whatever amount of time the court would give her, but
Oh, I don't do that.
I understand.
For new prosecutors in court.
Well,
You all are in the trial lineup, so we'll see where we fall.
okay, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately for jury trial. Alberto Trevino. Oh, I don't think I've done that one. Hello. Hi, you're in the trial lineup. Is there anything I need to know?
We're ready.
All right, thank you.
We are good trial Carter.
Oh, no, the jury's going to be up at 11:30.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. William Chapman. So have you all been able to confer on an offer?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have all the discovery?
I believe we do. I'll need to reconfirm with that with the court. Ms. Franklin, I believe has had discussions with Mr. Chapman previously. So as far as I'm aware, we have the discussion.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date, please, on Mr. William Chapman? All right, we're going to come back on March 23rd. And Ms. Ferguson, if you can give them a reset form because he'll probably be on bond. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further from the bench.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Step aside.
Roberto Mendoza Perez. Please pull up your pants. Don't want to see any underwear today. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neil Kalfas on behalf of Mr.
Good morning. I think I just saw you, Mr. Kalfas.
You did.
And not just from our law school days. All right, what is happening with this case?
The state is telling me that they're planning on re-indicting Mr. Mendoza Perez, but they are trying to figure out the appropriate federal statute to attach to the alleged organized criminal activity indictment that they're going to re-indict him on. And so
Okay.
I'd like to get a bond set for him. I know, I don't know. I text my office to figure out if we've already filed a motion on that or not.
They have not filed a motion, so once the motion is filed and I receive it, just ask Ms. Ferguson, we'll put it on the docket anytime, we'll hear it. And, confer with the state and let them know it's on the docket for a bond hearing.
Very well, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a regular reset on Mr. Mendoza, 30 days, please. All right, April 3rd.
I'll see you then, Judge.
All right, thank you. And if you want it back sooner, counsel, just let the court know.
Will do, Judge.
All right, thank you. Kadir Gunner? Yes, it's on Kadir Gunner. It's on jury.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
It's okay. 11:30, Your Honor.
Yes.
I will see you in an hour.
All right. Thank you. Caroline. Caroline, can I see all the files that are on the jury trial? Oh, no problem. Take your time. It's just so that I can put them in line. Mr. Cox, good morning. Chris Lind, come forward. Mr. Cox, it's always great to see you.
Always great to be seen, Judge.
Because if you're not seeing, that's an issue. Yeah. So what is happening with Mr. Lind? Where are we?
Well, it's just relatively new case, Judge. I was just pointed about a month ago. So I did a regular reset. I'm still going through to see whether I have the discovery. It's gonna probably be other things, some child save, those types of things that I'm gonna have to get to later. So.
And are there any CPS records potentially in this case, or?
There will definitely be CPS records.
I believe.
I don't think we have them yet.
All right, so what I'm going to do, and I don't normally do this, and if you all want to come back sooner, you can. I know it takes a little bit of time to get CPS records. So I'm going to give you all a 45-day reset. And if you want to come back before 45 days, just let the coordinator know and we'll put it on the docket. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 45-day reset on Lynn, and we'll just put it down as a discovery. No, yeah. All right, April 13th. All right, thank you, because I'm just putting them in order that they appear on the docket, and that makes it easier for me.
It was the only, yeah.
Tyrone Shepherd. Oh, that's fine. All right, so do I have the order?
Both orders are in your court's file now.
Okay,
For whatever reason, they didn't make it into the court's file the first time.
okay. Okay, awesome. And so the case that doesn't have a bond on it is the 2021 CR 8392 case.
That's
That's
all
correct.
public safety.
That's correct, Judge.
So are you all in agreement on a bond or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And what agreement for the bond do you all have?
It'd be a $10,000 bond.
And is he gone?
It's, it just.
Does he have a case manager?
I don't know, Judge.
All right, Deputy Laura, I know this is going to be a lot of work for you. All right, because I want to make sure that I'm not setting him up for failure because he was incompetent. So I want to make sure that they have a case manager in place for him. I will set your agreed bond, but I want to know where he's going to be so that he can formulate some plan. And I'm going to order Center for Healthcare Services, but I don't want to order that and have him not know it or if he already has that in place. So we're going to get him back here. I'm going to set the bond, so that's not an issue.
And I could probably answer some of those questions for the court.
Oh, yes, please.
His family lives in Georgia. His father will be driving down this weekend, assuming bond is set, to help him find a place to live and get him set up. Right now, he is homeless, and he doesn't have a place to go. So that's the situation right now.
Deputy Laura, is there any way that okay, awesome. Is there any way that the jail can make sure that they don't release him at like 1 a.m. and he has nowhere to go, that maybe he can be released to the father who's driving from Georgia to pick him up? Okay.
And I think that's fine. My understanding is that his father is coming in with the intention of getting like a motel for him to be at, because one of the conditions of his other case is full GPS and house arrest. So he obviously needs a place to be, and then his father's going to be helping find a more permanent living situation while his case is being litigated.
Okay. Well, I'm going to order Center for Healthcare Services. Do you know his father's name?
His father's name is Leonard Shepherd.
Because I would hate, because I know they release people sometime at 1 a.m. and it's, where am I going to go? What am I going to do?
understand, Judge, and that's a concern I have as well. So I think that's totally acceptable.
And what date are you expecting Leonard Shepherd to arrive?
My understanding was he was planning on coming down this weekend, so it would be within the next couple of days.
Okay, are you able to call to give me a date certain so I can put a date certain in the order? Because they're not going to want to hold him.
Well, I assume that his father won't post the bond until he's in position to come in and pick him up. But I can certainly try to get in contact with his father.
Okay.
And get a more definite date if people want.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're going to bring your client out. So just give us a moment and we'll take it up.
I'm gonna step in the hallway and see if I can get in touch with his father.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. All right, thank you, will do. Yes, sure. Just 1 second. Hey, no, it's good steel trap. Gilberto Sanchez. Gilberto Sanchez. Oh, Well, it's just here. Hi, it's Leo Palooza.
That's correct.
Kim has been stopping by. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And Diana, we're going to be taking our lunch at noon. Okay, that's okay. No, he's going to remain here because he has that GPS. Oh, I don't know yet. I'm going to see when they bring him out and then we'll figure out. Zachary Sanchez. Who's the attorney for Zachary?
I am, Your Honor.
Huh. All right. Let me find him on the docket sheet. Thank you. All right, Mr. Sanchez, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. But everybody's whispering. Why is everybody whispering? I can barely hear people.
Thank you.
All right, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, it's our first setting. We've started conferring with the state. We've received information that there's some CPS records that the state already has. We'll be asking for a effective order on those to receive a copy and should watch the, I believe there's a forensic interview. We need to review and that's all.
Okay. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a 30-day reset for discovery. Stay at that time. You'll need to be prepared to make an offer if you're prepared to make an offer. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Zachary Sanchez. All right, we'll be back on April 3rd. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Of course, if you all need to come sooner, just let us know.
Sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
May my client be excused?
After he signs the reset. All right, and his attorney's in the hallway calling his father. And he comes back too. All right, Mr. Shepherd. Counsel, were you able to reach his father?
I was.
And what does he say?
He said that the earliest to be able to make it is will be Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and then he can call me with a more definite, date as soon as he knows. But he is currently in San Antonio, but he's a truck driver who's driving a load to Laredo and then back to Georgia. He would have to get his car and then come back to San Antonio.
All right, so this is what we're going to do then. If I set him a bond now, they're not going to hold him till, next week. They're not going to do it. They're going to release him. So
Well, I
does he
don't
have a
think
place?
he's paid yet. So
Okay,
that's my understanding, is that his father would come in and have Tuesday and Wednesday to get the money together and get it paid and then be released at that point.
all right, we're going to go on the record in 2021 CR 8392, State of Texas versus Tyrone Shepherd. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? State? Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay.
The state is here, Jason Garahan.
Defense,
Thomas Lane for Tyrone Shepherd.
and are you Mr. Shepherd?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Shepherd, while you were out of the room, we had a discussion. The state and defense have agreed that your bond be set at 10,000. The court has been given a copy of the order stating that you have been deemed to be currently competent. So therefore I can set the bond. But I wanted to ask you a few questions because it doesn't me no good to set a bond and set you up for failure.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Tyrone Shepherd.
All right, Mr. Shepherd, do you have a case manager or anything of that nature?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right.
My mom is a nurse, so I will probably be up under her care.
All right. And is your mom in San Antonio?
No, ma'am.
Where is she?
She's in Albany, Georgia.
All right. So the problem is he has a GPS, so you have to be in San Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
So you'll have to get a case manager or some type of worker here. Is your mom able to coordinate that?
I believe she can. Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are you able to coordinate with his mom since she's a nurse?
I will certainly try, Judge. I can try.
All right. So are you currently on any type of medications?
No, ma'am. I was taking high blood pressure medication, but I haven't taken it in quite a while.
Well, is there some, because he was found competent, so I'm assuming. Did he not need medication to regain competency?
That is the court's finding, Judge.
So, no, I mean, did he take medication to regain competency?
He did not.
So was he just having a bad day?
I believe this gets into the specific facts of the case. Mr. Shepard was prescribed to several different types of medication. He was receiving treatment through the VA hospital. He was actually at the hospital the day that the alleged incident. And I believe that anything further,
No, I mean, I don't want to go any further, but I'm trying to figure out, does he
not-
need medication to continue to be competent and safe in society?
He has not been taking medication, and for the last year and a half, he's been detained in the Bexar County Adult Detention Center, awaiting a bed at the state hospital. I filed a writ challenging his detainment. He was recomped, and he was found to be competent at that time.
All right. So with regards to the VA, and you're telling me, I guess some of this happened at the VA,
That's
is he
correct.
allowed to go to the VA for treatment?
As far as I'm
still?
aware, that there's no contact order or trespass warning.
I mean, Judge, I don't know if there is a no contact, but historically, the state has requested a no contact order for whatever possible alleged crime has happened. So that would be the VA hospital. But again, I think it's on sort of a gray area with active emergency services. I know the alleged victim did not work at the VA hospital, so that's on the one case. The other one may have been a security guard there, which was the assault on a public servant.
At the detention center, at the jail.
Oh, at the jail.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. It's a $10,000 bond. You to report either to Center for Healthcare Services of the VA. It appears that there's no issue with you reporting to the VA. So when you're released, you need to go there and make sure, like, if you need your medications for high blood pressure, you need to do that. As a side note, people say high blood pressure is the silent killer. You think you're doing great, and then bam. All right. And if there's an issue with what you think your high blood pressure medication should be, probably need to get a second opinion. I'm not a doctor, but, well, I'm not a medical doctor. I'll put it that way. But you probably should do that.
Yes.
Now, your attorney is saying that it would be okay to have you released to your father, Leonard Shepard. So are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I forgot the O in your father's name. Just one second. And he's telling me that your father is not going to be here till the 6th, maybe?
I don't have a calendar for me. Tuesday or Wednesday of next week is when he said.
So Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So again, I want you to know that they're not going to release you then until your father comes to pick you up.
Yes, ma'am.
And part of the reason why that's in there is because usually if this bond is signed and if it's made, the jail will probably release you at 1 a.m. and you won't have any place to go.
I'd rather stay in the jail.
Okay. All right. So I put on there to be released to Leonard Shepard. If there is an issue with the release, just contact me and we'll contact the jail and make sure it's done.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, with regards to this GPS, my understanding that there's been a previous GPS violation with you.
Yes, ma'am.
If there is another GPS violation with you, we're going to have issues.
It would not be.
All right. And I understand that there were perhaps mental health issues. Sometimes people have a case and then they're upset because they have a case and they don't know why. But you have to follow the rules of this court. If you do not, a warrant will be issued and you'll be right back at the Bexar County Jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure you follow through on whatever curfews are in place for you for GPS. And if you have a question over what the curfew is, or am I doing something I'm not allowed to do, call your pretrial services officer. If you can't get in touch with the pretrial services officer, the court is always open. Well, except for Saturdays and Sundays, but we're here. All right, is there anything else?
Briefly, Judge, regarding his GPS, because you have ordered him to report to either the VA clinic or the Center for Healthcare Services, we would ask those two locations should be pre-authorized.
All right.
And his GPS, and as well, when his father is here next week, I anticipate them going and looking for apartments. And so I'm happy to contact the court when they do that, or the pretrial services officer, but I would just like it noted at this time that that is in the works and to at least expect it.
All right. I'm going to put defendant allowed to attend all medical appointments. Waive, defer fees. And then just contact the court if there's an issue with him looking for a place. And I'll put on here, defendant allowed and I'm thinking if he's seeking a residence, it shouldn't be after 10. So
that's fine.
I'll say during Monday through Friday. And we'll do 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
I don't think so at this time.
All right, now we need a trial, not a trial date, we need a reset date. Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a 30-day reset? All right, so we're going to come back on March 30th. And at that time, we'll make sure you have all your discovery.
All right.
Is there anything else?
Nothing to say.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
If there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. All right, Gilberto Sanchez. All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, reset this for 2 weeks, please. Probation, Gilberto Sanchez is being reset. His attorney was just hired. All right, so everyone, Gilberto Sanchez is coming back on March 9th. And Deputy, could you let him know it's being recalled for March 9th? Yes. Thank you. Eddie Marine. If you'll come forward. All right, Mr. Marine, your attorney is actually in jury trial and impact court. So we're going to give you a reset date because people can't be in two places at the same time. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we recall this in 2 weeks, please? All right, we're going to see you back on March 9th, and Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, then you're excused. Christopher Balcazar. He's at the hallway? Okay,
Just my approach.
yes.
This is a picture.
Okay, all right, the court is calling 2023 CR 0217, State of Texas versus Christopher Balcazar. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Anita Collin, on behalf of Mr. Coffee.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:35 a.m. The defendant has not appeared in the courtroom. Deputy Laura, was an announcement made outside the court?
He did not answer.
Defense, have you had contact with your client?
Just the phone numbers I do have.
All right, and Caroline, is this a PR bond? It's 2023 CR 0217. All right, state.
Station President, I believe a judge's warrant.
Yes. Judge's warrant will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. All right, thank you. Yes. Victor Del Toro. Who's here on Victor Del Toro?
Denise Harrison for the state of Texas.
Right. Where is his attorney?
Right here. Good.
Thank you. Everybody's being solid. Good morning. All right, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, this morning we have conferred. I have given the state offer on this case. He does have time to talk to his client. They did do a counter offer, which they will be giving me, sending me a packet so I can look at whether or not I will be giving my counter offer.
All right. Do you have all the discovery?
I believe I do, yes, Judge. It's a older case, so.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need this call back in 2 weeks for plea deadline date, please. All right, your plea deadline date is March 9th. After that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to appear, otherwise you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Your
Judge,
Honor, if possible, can we have a month? Because he
Yeah,
does live in Laredo.
that's what I was gonna ask, Judge, if we could get 30 days to get all this together.
All right, so let me ask you this. If he lives in Laredo, we can always have him by Zoom. Is that still not enough time for both parties?
Well, it's a matter of gathering some things for Ms. Harrison, Judge, this is kind of the issue, and I just want to make sure he has that time as well. That's another part of it. So if we could get 30 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you make this 30 days, please? All right, and which page is he on the docket? All right. So we will have you back here on March 30th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form and then you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes, that's the plea deadline.
Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. You too. Tell your baby I said hi.
I will. Thank you.
All right, if there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside in the hallway. And there are none. Hello. Oh, interpreter.
Was up there.
All right, miss, if you're not, excuse me, miss, with the baby, are you on the docket? All right, thank you. And Norma, if you can find out Orlando Castagnon and Alfonso Cabanas. Sure. And also Mr. Robert Mauer on Mr. Neely.
Wow.
All right, thank you. All right, Jorge Macias Castro.
That's there, bringing it back in.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, Jorge Macias Castro.
Sir.
All right, so we're not on the record. Where are we on this case?
Judge, there's never been a Padilla examination done of this defendant.
All right,
He's a permanent resident, but it still affects him.
Ms. Ferguson. I need an immigration attorney for Mr. Macias Castro. Would you like one appointed, counsel?
Please, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
And then where are we on discovery?
Judge, the state has today provided the CPS records and the hospital records from Laurel Ridge where the defendant had been a patient. So I'm going to need some time to look at those as well.
All right, any other outstanding discovery?
Not that I'm aware of, Judge. And the last time we were here, Judge Angelini made us sign the discovery acknowledgement. CPS records were going to be provided, which they have been today.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, who's going to be appointed for his? All right, and if they don't have anyone who can do it right away, then just appoint someone. So he will have someone today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the next thing is if we can get a 30-day reset. April what? All right, we're going to come back on April 3rd. On April 3rd, it'll be to make sure that, you know, he's spoken to the immigration attorney, that they understand the situation.
Yes,
And
Your Honor.
Mr. Macias, I want you to understand that the immigration attorney who's being appointed to represent you are only representing you as far as your immigration status is impacted by what happens in this case. Do you understand?
Yes.
They are not your immigration attorney for your global things with the federal government. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, counsel, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Bye-bye.
My pleasure, Judge. Thank you.
Who's here on Hannah Smith?
He was here, Judge.
Justin Stegmeyer? All right, thank you. Court is calling 2019 CR 10773W, State of Texas versus Justin Patrick Stegmeyer. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Dorkins for the state.
Daniel De La Garza for the defense.
And are you Mr. Stegmeyer? Am I pronouncing your last name correctly? All right. Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt or revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Justin Patrick Stegmeyer who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 10773W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on September 27th, 2019 for a term of 2 years and extended for 2 years? Is that you? State.
In this case, the state alleges on or about the 19th day of January 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Justin Patrick Stegmeyer, then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of the felony drug court by failing to attend his intake appointment at the Center for Healthcare Services in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure. We'll waive the remaining allegations, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 41?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 41. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for the court to grant the motion to find Mr. Stegmeyer guilty of the underlying offense and to revoke community supervision for a term of 2 years incarceration in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Stegmeyer, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, the court will follow your agreement, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. How old are you? We're off the record. How old are you?
37 now.
All right, what's up with these tattoos?
Had them for years. This is my daughter's nickname, her stuffed animal.
Okay, were those painful? Okay. So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Going back to work. I just bought a home and I just started my career, so I'm hoping my boss is gonna keep my job for when I get home.
All right, obviously I sent you to felony drug court because there's some drug issues. If you do not address those issues, guess what? Whenever you stop running, the same issues that you had are still going to be there. That drug problem is not going anywhere until you face it head on. You understand?
I just know.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, counsel. Good seeing you.
Good to see you.
All right. Where is, oh, there's Mr. Maurer.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello,
Always a
you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. You have Mr. Neely.
Yes, we're confirmed.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Ferguson. Is he on the wheel? All right. If you see if he can do that. You know what? See if Mr. Who just left can come back. Is he on the? Yes, he on the wheel. See if he can come back. Dan Rodriguez, can you see if Mr. Daniel De La Garza is in the hallway. If you can have him come back in.
Okay.
All right, thank you. If there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait out in the hallway. All right, thank you. Oh, and this one, Norma's calling her attorney back to see if they can do that. Hopefully nothing was injured. Yes. Oh, yes. Mr. Bach. Oh, yes, Miss, if you could see Miss Ferguson, please. Yes. All right, Stephen Neely.
He's present in the box, Judge.
All right, come forward.
Oh.
So, Mr. Maurer, how is Hannah doing?
I don't know about that, but more importantly, Rachel was in town,
All right, and how is Rachel doing?
living her best life.
Yeah, young people always do that.
Yeah, she's loving her apartment in New York, and
Mhm.
so she was lobbying for another year's extension. She did tell me to tell you hello.
Aw.
She said she was worried you were sick
Oh,
because you were asking for prayers. I'm like, no, she does that all the time. She's not sick.
no, I'm not. But prayers were appreciated for family members.
No, she said to tell you hello.
Oh,
She's doing great.
oh, that is awesome. See, young people should always live their best life.
Particularly when their parents are paying for it.
Oh, yes. It's great when when your parents are handling all expenses, it's like you're super wealthy, right?
If you would like to absorb part of the expense, I'd be glad to. You do a GoFundMe.
I consider Rachel another daughter, but no.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah. All right. So what is happening with Mr. Neely?
It's a first setting, post indictment. I got an offer today. There's a bunch of cases, both here and in county court. I'd asked for 45 days to go through all the discovery, and then we'll have an answer about whether or not it's going to be a plea or not.
Did you see Jason Gareham behind you?
But one of the Jasons, I consider them fungible.
All right. So, Ms. Ferguson, we're going to recall this for 30 days.
Never hurts to ask.
No, nothing hurts a failure but a try.
Mhm.
All right, we're going to do April 3rd as a regular reset. And the state hasn't tendered an offer, have they?
They did this morning,
Okay.
and they're going to leave it open to the next setting.
All right, so we're going to be back on April 3rd.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Any questions, Mr. Neely? All right, well, we'll see you then.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Abrams, are you ready on compliance? All right, as soon as whoever you want to call up first, just let me know. Yes. All right, is he by Zoom or in person?
He's a person.
All right, Mr. White, if you'll come forward, please. All right, Mr. White. You are on deferred adjudication. And the offense that you're on deferred adjudication for, do you know what the range of punishment is for that offense?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Was it 6 years?
No. The range of punishment for what you're on probation for, according to what I'm seeing, is, and you mean 6 years, you mean that's how long you're going to be on probation, possibly. No, I'm talking about if your probation were revoked. Do you know what the range of punishment is? 20 years prison. 20. So when you're not following the rules that the court has set, that's a problem.
Well, I did follow. I just.
Well, here's the thing. When people are when I have people do field visits, there is a reason. And I understand you have work issues, but you can't come at somebody with attitude. Stop right there. This is what I'm telling you. You can't come at somebody with attitude for 2 reasons. Number one, everybody's trying to do their job. And when probation is coming to see you, it's because I've told them to come see you. Like probation, I can guarantee you probation, I wouldn't say they have issues, but nobody likes to have extra work placed upon them. And when I do ask for field visits for probation, that's extra work for them. Usually you have to come into the office to visit them, but I like for them to go out to the home so they can see what's going on. And so when they want to make an attempt to come to your house, like they can't give you 24-hour notice because it's not supposed to be, they're coming. Because what happens when people know that people are coming to their house? Even me, when my mom is coming, I consider my house clean. Everybody tells me, wow, your baseboards are clean. But when I have people who are coming to my house, I do an extra cleaning.
Right.
And you know why I do that? Because I want it to be presented well. So when people are on probation, if you're a good probationer, you want it to be presented well. But I really don't get to see the way things are on a day-to-day basis. And if you follow the conditions that I set for you with field visits, then I'll consider reducing them. But if there are some issues with your field visits, what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up getting increased. And you know what? That's going to be an inconvenience for you. And that's going to be an inconvenience for probation.
Well, I didn't know who was calling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I had an attitude. When they called block, I didn't know who it was because people call my phone block, playing on phones. And the third one, I asked them to give me 20 minutes. And they said, well, we don't have 20 minutes. The first 2 was 5. Every day I get off work, I wait, and I wait, and I wait. Then the last officer told me because of the holidays, there may be some time for the third one. The third one, I kept waiting and waiting. Most I did was go change the light bulb. I said, can I give you 20 minutes? They said, well, make it as fast as you can. And I called them when I got there and they didn't pick up. Then they came 2 weeks later and I was home.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right. So here's the thing. We can't, again, I know sometimes things are frustrating for people. Sometimes I'm frustrated, but if we realize that everyone has a job to do, sometimes people are in professions they never had any intention of going in and they're stuck because they have bills to pay. And then you have some people who absolutely love their profession, but even the people who absolutely love their profession, they can have bad days. And I guarantee you, when somebody is coming to you with a bad day, you don't know what they've been going through. But if you greet them with a smile, whether you mean it or not, if you greet them with a smile and kindness, usually they will return that. And if they don't, then that's 100% their problem. You've done your part. Okay? Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, the field visits were supposed to be one time a month for 3 months.
Mhm.
And then if he was in compliance, they could cease.
Mhm.
Your Honor, how long would you like them to continue?
All right, let's do 2 more months. And we'll see how that is. And if there's an issue, then what's your range of punishment if you were revoked?
20 years.
All right, you need to keep that in your mind. All right, you have any other questions, concerns, issues?
Far as like the probation, I'm taking a lot of days off of work. Is there any way I can get Zoom? I mean, I know that's.
Zoom for what purpose? Reporting?
Visits and, these situations here, if needed.
I mean, we can't do a Zoom home visit. Home visit,
Well,
you got,
I know that, but as far as like probation, she told me to ask.
all right. Is it Zoom possible with him for reporting? All right, here's the thing. If I'm allowing you to report by Zoom, you got to be on time. All right, he can report by Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else?
Your Honor, Ms. Arzola is here and Mr. Fernandez.
All right, if Miss, you say Arzola?
Yes.
All right, Miss Arzola. Hello,
Hi, how are you?
how are you doing this morning?
Great.
All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, so there's an issue with the GPS device, the no movement thing. And you're saying that's related to your employment. So here's the question. Do you want to be on GPS for till the end of time?
No,
For the
ma'am.
length of time that you're on this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I understand what's going on with your employment and everything, but I cannot have lockouts.
I don't understand. I didn't know
They're
that
saying
there
that
was a
you,
problem
they said,
with it.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know that there was a problem with the GPS. I thought we were in compliance state.
Well, no, they're saying here that the probation had 7 no motion violations on January 20, January of this year, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 18th, the 19th, and the 24th.
Oh, I was unaware of that.
And they said you've had 2 device shutdowns on January 7th of this year and January 19th.
Because every time I get a notification, I'm always at the facility right away whenever my probation officer calls me and asks me to go. I wasn't aware of any of these. Actually, the last time I talked to my probation officer to come today, I thought it was because we're getting because he had submitted the report to get it removed. And so all of these I was unaware of.
Okay. And then they say you failed to submit a UA on January 3rd.
And again, my probation officer, I've been calling the UA line.
That's okay. We're going to do a UA today. What are the results going to be?
Negative.
Okay, so we're going to do a UA today. If
I'm
it's
actually
negative,
doing- Oh, yeah, yes, I'm actually doing for ECC for Judge Burnley. I submit for them and I'm wearing a patch for them.
okay.
I've been doing everything.
No. Let me just tell you, you're not getting revoked.
No, I know. I was just kind of excited because I thought I was getting, the GPS removed, but I didn't know that there was all these.
No. Yeah. Here's the thing. There are always bumps in the road.
Mhm.
And it's a question of how we handle those bumps in the road. So I do these compliance hearings so that I can talk to people and see how they're doing. Is there any tissue? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have you do a UA today. And then what I'm going to do is, let me see here.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
I believe, in the notation, thinking that the no motion violation was possibly due to her employment where she has problems, connecting the device.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to. About that.
Okay. And well, let me ask you, for this month of February, because we're at the end of the month, have there been any violations or no motions?
There's not been, let me double check.
Okay. So what is the no motion? What is your employment? What do you do?
Well, you see, I work at Division's Laundry, but it's a big factory. And as a matter of fact, when I started working with them about I think in October last year,
Mhm.
but I quit because of all the they were not getting the GPS, right? They were not getting the signals or whatever. So I quit and I let them know, because at the time I was supposed to get 30 days or 90 days, I think, and then get it removed, right? But I don't know if you recall the last time I was here, I came out dirty. And so
Yes.
you prolonged it.
Yes.
And so I had quit my job and I let them know, when this time comes, I should have it removed by then, because I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. So they told me, as soon as you get it removed, go ahead and come back, right? But then when that time came, our probation officer said, well, you need to be employed. So I went the same day that he told me that, I just needed to get the job. I called them and let them know, I can come back to work, right? Because I need to have a job in order to get it removed. And the next day I was back at work and been working since then. Then I moved to part-time because with ECC, Judge Burley let me know, start getting the house ready because baby's gonna be coming home in May. So I moved to part-time. And so I really didn't know that I was having any complications as far as no issues.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do then, since there's been no issues in February, if the UA is negative, then she can have the GPS device removed, but I want a UA today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Here's the thing, before you leave,
Yes, ma'am.
you're excited because things are going well, you're getting your life together, but you can't get too excited and forget where you've been and where you're trying to come.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know, because I've done child protective services cases before, everybody's telling you, child's coming home, you're excited, you got a place for the baby, everything's going great. Then you get too happy and you don't stay vigilant. So you're going to have to stay vigilant for your child. That means not using. Still stay on track with probation, even though if you're negative today, which you're telling me you're going to be, you won't have GPS. So you've still got to remain on track. Otherwise, one thing can happen and then everything falls apart. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. And Hernandez?
Just real quickly,
Yes.
the last 3 times I've been in here, you made a reference, and so
Okay.
about suspenders.
Yes, Once Upon a Time in the West. Thank you, with Henry Fonda. Yeah, you know what? That is one of the best Westerns
It is.
that has ever been made, and so few people have seen it.
I agree. Anyway, I was just.
Thank you. That is so true.
Yeah, I.
Okay, just one second. Let me write this note. All right, Mr. Hernandez, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great. All right, when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll probably say positive.
Positive for what?
Nothing.
Could everyone please whisper? All right. How often are you using meth?
I don't.
No, it has to be, you knew you were coming to court today. So for you to be positive for meth, that means you used knowing you had to be in court today. So again, how often are you using?
I don't.
What does that mean?
It's probably 3 times a week.
All right, that's often. All right, so we're gonna try to get you some help. We're gonna do a UA today. And you're gonna be taken into custody today. And we're gonna try to get you some inpatient treatment, okay? All right, can you UA him, please? Zane Hernandez. All right, so Mr. Hernandez, we're gonna make sure you have treatment because you using meth that amount of time, it's not gonna end well for you. All right, do you have children? All right, where are you staying? Are you staying with someone? Your mom? All right, so we'll be sure to make sure that we have your mother's number and let her know. And we're gonna get an attorney appointed for you before you leave here today, okay? All right. So we can do the UA, and if you can issue, file a motion to revoke. And I'm not doing this as a punishment to you. I'm doing it so that hopefully you'll become clean and sober, because otherwise it's not going to end well. And when you think that using meth 3 times a week is not a lot, that's a lot. Okay. All right. Thank you. And Norma, make sure he has an attorney for him today. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. Travis Molden. Hello.
You set bonds for Mr. Molden. He's in the jail remanded without bond.
Okay.
He was remanded without bond because he was in federal custody. He's released from federal custody after 51 months
Mhm.
and was extradited back to Bexar County for these charges.
Okay, is he actually in Bear County?
Yeah.
Is he? What I can do is I'll have Norma put it on the docket tomorrow. We'll bring him over.
He
And I
has a
can,
broken leg. So the problem, I'm trying to get a bond set because he's broken his leg and they're refusing him any medical treatment. So he's,
what?
we're having.
No
he's having-
medical treatment?
He's having a real problem over there. So
All right, do you personally know that he has a broken leg?
I don't believe that he would lie.
No,
I haven't looked at the x-rays.
no, because,
Is that, due to his record, I believe you would lie.
well, no, because it's, no, if as an officer of the court and when people come in as officer of the court, I'm like, okay, I'm taking your word for it. But I take your word for it if you say, hey, I've seen him, he has a broken leg.
I've not seen his leg.
So we don't
No,
know.
we can bring him tomorrow if you want.
Okay, let's bring him in tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, because Wednesday we'll be doing testimony for trial, but we'll bring him in on Thursday.
Thanks.
All right. It's Travis Molden. And if you want, if there's some issue with transportation, we can always see if they can arrange for him to be here by Zoom.
I can't do it Thursday morning because I've got to go to a funeral for it's Wednesday night,
Okay,
but I want to get it done. I mean, 'cause I got to get him a bond set. So
all right,
let's see.
Ms. Ferguson.
Let me see what
I know we have jury trial on Wednesday and that will be testimony. Can we, is it possible for him to be here maybe at 2:30?
to go to the courtroom if you-
Oh,
I'll be in
yes.
the courthouse in the morning, but not.
Yeah, we can move it. I mean, I know that you want to start the jury trial as soon as possible, though.
Oh, I have someplace to be at 11. All right, I tell you what, Norma, let's have him here tomorrow at, because that's March 1st. Let's have him tomorrow at 9.
I'll be
So
here-
everybody
I'll be
needs to be here
9 o'clock
exactly at
sharp.
9.
I'll be here ready.
Okay,
It shouldn't take long. I mean, just for you to see him and set him a bond, so.
okay,
Okay. thank you.
all right, awesome.
Just take cases that are.
Right, just the 2 cases, the 2018 cases.
All right, and Mr. Bonk and Mr. Gerhan, if I could see you in the hallway for a moment, please. And Norma, if I could see you in the hallway.
All right.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And is the person here on Hannah Smith? Okay.
Right here.
Oh, I'm looking for the attorney for Hannah Smith. Can you see where that attorney is? Okay, here you go. Okay. Okay, all right, awesome. All right, so if someone would let him know that in Spanish, who's my Spanish speaker? Thank you, Deputy Laura. All right, and can I see the is Brittany here on Gunner? All right, thank you. You know, it always amazes me. Everybody gets very quiet when nobody's on the record. Then when we go on the record, everybody's chatting away. Donna, why does that happen?
I don't know, they just love to make their job difficult. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. Hold on.
All right, thank you. All right, Luis Contreras. Is Luis Contreras in custody? All right, Deputy Laura, could you let him know that his case is going to be recalled in 2 weeks? His attorney is actually in a jury trial in another county. And what date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, March 9th. So State Contreras is going to be recalled for March 9th. And Deputy Laura, could you let the jurors know that I'm going to excuse them for lunch? But we're going to start back up. Let me see just 1 second. Who are the defense attorneys on Gunner? Are you on Gunner as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, how long are you all expecting jury selection to take? How much time are you requesting?
Give us 45 minutes aside, 35
Okay.
minutes.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to release the jury for lunch and we'll start up and I'll need everyone who's on the jury docket. You need to be back here by 1:15 because we'll start with jury selection at exactly at 1:30. The jury will be seated. So everybody will need to be back at 1:15.
Does that include my client, Mr. Trevino also?
Yes.
So you want it back at 1:15?
Yes, and everyone who's on the jury docket, of course, if your client is found not guilty, then your client is not found not guilty. But I need to make sure that you have your selections done for punishment if we get to that. So please make sure that you file that so the court will know.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you,
All right,
Judge.
thank you. And Deputy Laura, if you let them know to come back at 1:15. All right, thank you. Yes. Sure. And everyone else, the court is taking its recess at noon.
All of us are coming back?
Yes.
So you'll decide which case. is
Yes.
going
So
at
the
1:15.
persons who are coming back and you need to be back at 1:15 are Kadir Gunner, Manuel Rodriguez, Jayton Green, Elsa Vaquera, Brandon Sierra, Alberto Trevino, Migdalia Salazar, Fidel Avila, and Darren Doze.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And before parties leave, make sure that you have done your election for punishment. And if there are applications for probation that need to be filed, you need to make sure those are filed. All right, thank you. On who? All right. Oh, I don't have the file on Galfo. All right, could I have the parties on Jason Galfo?
That's us. Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Galfo, if you come down, please.
Sorry.
Are you all ready to proceed?
We are gonna, yes.
Right.
We have a, yes, we're ready to proceed.
All right, the court is calling 2022. Everyone, please whisper. Court is calling 2022 CR 6684. State of Texas versus Jason Paul Galfo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
For Mr. Galfo.
And are you Mr. Galfo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Galfo, your previous attorney requested that he be allowed to withdraw. Do you have any objections to your previous attorney withdrawing?
Negative, Your Honor.
And Mr. Bonk has been appointed to represent you. Do you understand that Mr. Bonk has 10 days to prepare for this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you wishing to go forward?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Bonk, are you prepared to proceed?
Yes, Judge. I've had a chance to confer with probation, with the state and with my client, and I believe we have a alternative resolution that doesn't involve incarceration.
All right, Mr. Galfo, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Jason Paul Galfo who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 6684 for the offense of felon in possession of a firearm on November 16, 2022 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 2 on or about the 14th day of December 2022 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Jason Paul Galfo did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
Waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
The waiving, no.
Mr. Galfo, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 4 years in prison? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the request?
The agreement is to deny the motion to revoke, continue the individual on his probation, alter and amend to send him to lifetime recovery in lieu of his illegal drug use. We would like to hold, I did mention this to Mr. Monk, would like to hold a SATF in advance if he's not able to work as well. That is our understanding. He would, just so the court will know, he was referred to drug court due to an overcrowding problem. Drug court could not accept him through no fault of his own. And so since he does have a family and is employed, we're asking that lifetime recovery be allowed to provide him the treatment he needs. He understands that if he is not successful, then SATF is the court's next step, which involves a much more intense custodial arrangement.
Okay.
Right.
All right. This is what the court will do. And we really need more funding for felony drug court. It's a great program, but there's limited resources. All right. The court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include lifetime recovery. You're only to be released to lifetime recovery. So lifetime recovery will send someone to the jail to pick you up. Okay. And then I know lifetime recovery will handle the UAs, but probation, if you can make sure that someone for probation is checking in to him on a regular basis. And then also see if felony drug court is willing to put him on the wait list, because sometimes they'll place him in lifetime recovery. And then once they have an opening, he can go there. All right. Mr. Galfo, is there anything else you need from the court? All right, Mr. Galfo, I hope everything turns out right for you. You're going to have to really work hard. It's very hard to control our addictions, okay? All right, is there anything else from either side?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bont. Good luck to you.
I'll see you in the morning right before 9 and we'll knock.
And Diana, we're gonna break at noon for lunch.
I don't know if you want to sit there. Looks like he's on.
I'm sorry?
Both of you say non-jury.
Oh,
Does it matter?
no, you're
I didn't
fine.
think so, right?
It should be one.
Okay.
That's fine. Yes.
What's your plan for Hannah Smith? You've had the next of kin here all morning and I'm not sure. if Mr.
Where's the
States-
attorney?
They're over. on the wall.
Who's the attorney?
Mr. Statesman, Joseph Statesman.
All right. All right, just one moment. Okay, just 1 second. All right, what is, Norma, can you text me Mr. Stateson's number, please?
Oh, well, I thought you were like. Your hands were. I tried. Yeah.
All right, could you have, because I see now what's on this docket, could you have the family come up, please? Thank you.
No better.
No, what about?
This one?
All right. So I wanted to explain to you what was going on because I know sometimes there's confusions because cases drag on and we're wondering why it's dragging on. What I can tell you in this court, could everyone please whisper? In this court, I don't like to keep cases dragging on because everyone wants their due process rights. The defendant does, the complainant and the complainant's family does as well. So what has happened in this case is this case was actually transferred to the 186. And then I just received notice that it was transferred back here. So there is something that happened in that transfer process. I don't necessarily request that cases be transferred. What ends up happening is sometimes a judge will have a case before them that they have a conflict on. And so they can't hear the case because everybody wants a fair trial. And then what will end up happening is they'll have to take a case from us that is the same level of felony. So that's what happened in this case. But then that judge, whomever it is, decided, no, we're going to keep the case. And we discovered that maybe it's not a conflict. So then the case got sent back here. So that's why this is happening. Mr. Statesman,
Yes, Your Honor.
if you can come forward. So something's going to end up happening and we're on track. But if this ends up being a jury trial, I like to make sure that both parties have all their discovery, because the last thing you want is to have a jury trial and you think everything has ended and it hasn't ended because somebody doesn't have their discovery. Okay, so we're going to let you know what the next date is going to be. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Smith. All right, Mr. Statesman, when we were here on January, before this was transferred, we were supposed to be here in January with regards to your expert. So where are we with that?
I have to still get with Monica Guerrero regarding that. I can give you an update outside of our expert.
Okay.
We've attempted to propose counter agreements, counter offers. And they're not the counter offers that the state would be amenable to.
Mhm.
We're still wishing to still negotiate to see if there's a possible resolution outside of trial. But if that doesn't happen relatively soon, we would need to have a jury decide the case.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
I believe we do, Your Honor, and I would sign the discovery acknowledgement if we have not done so already.
All right, let me check to see if that's been done. Yes, the discovery acknowledgement has been signed, and it was actually signed by Ms. Guerrero. So my understanding, offers have been tendered. You all are more than welcome to confer off docket, but I'm giving you a plea deadline date. So after the date that I give you, the court will not accept any further plea bargain agreements in this case unless you decide to plead open in the court or there's good cause for it. Do you understand, Ms. Smith?
Yes.
So, Ms. Ferguson?
Yes.
On this case, I need a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date.
March 23rd.
All right, March 23rd is your plea deadline date. And if you choose not to accept an agreement or you all don't have an agreement worked out, then your next date is going to be your jury trial date. All right, anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor, and, other than I will check with Monica if she has any issues with any potential expert she has, we'll let the court know that.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, please let them know that this case will not be transferred back to anyone. We'll keep it here so we can, the issues can be resolved.
Judge.
All right, thank you. And I know you've been haggard running around to different courts.
I have a client across the hall who was held in contempt on a trial setting. I have to return to.
Ah, okay,
But I do have one other case for Monica Gavetto.
yes. Which case is that?
Fidel Ayala, and there's a companion case with the people as well.
Oh, that's coming back this afternoon.
What time this afternoon?
You all need to be back here at 1:15. And everyone needs to do a election of punishment. And if the person you believe they're probation eligible, need to make sure you fill that out. So we'll see y'all back at 1:15. Thank you.
Emmanuel Rodriguez, please repeat.
They need to pull the file.
He's up for file.
Oh, 1:15,
Well, we're gonna be requesting a restate.
1:15.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Yes.
may I approach?
Yes.
I apologize for being late. I thought I was bringing back in hearing. Apparently my client has a MTR.
Yes.
I tried to meet with him in jail. He was in the, I think, the hospital ward. So I just became aware that he is a Spanish speaker and I don't speak Spanish. I was gonna ask him
No walking in the jury box.
to appoint somebody who does effectively communicate.
All right. And this can be handled with an interpreter?
Well, he has a new number one and
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And so potentially could, but there is a new number one that I've.
Did you know, sorry, to interrupt you. Did you know the one is family violence? And it just happened in January 28th. It is allegedly an aggravated assault together.
Okay.
And so there is some issues there, Judge. I believe that if he has that reset, it should.
Okay. All right. You'll need to file a motion to withdraw.
Yes, Judge.
And if the interpreter could come up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Eliseo Perez Rodriguez. All right. And my understanding, there's some mental health issues in this as well.
There may be, Judge. He was unavailable when I tried to meet with him in jail.
Well, I see that before he had a mental health evaluation and it was in Judge Carruthers Court. So he has been to Vernon's before. So Mr. Rodriguez, nothing's going to happen with your case today. Your attorney is asking to withdraw. And we're going to go on the record since you're asking to withdraw.
Yes.
Court is calling 2018 CR 13496 State of Texas versus Eliseo Perez Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Afternoon for defense.
And we have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. And if you could state your name for the record?
Mariana Rios.
All right. Are you Elicio Perez Rodriguez?
Yes,
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. All right, Mr. Perez, your attorney has informed the court that he wishes to withdraw from your case because he is not a Spanish speaker. Do you have any objections to him withdrawing?
Who's gonna be my attorney?
It will be someone who speaks Spanish. So do you have any objection to his withdrawing?
What's gonna happen with me?
Another attorney, if you have no objection to this attorney being removed, another attorney who speaks Spanish, who is on the will to receive these type of cases, will be appointed to represent you. That attorney will speak with the state's attorney and speak to you.
Oh, and then it's this paper?
What is that paper, counsel?
It's an indigent appointment of attorney.
Yes, Mr. Perez, because of that piece of paper, you will receive an attorney that's appointed to you. All right, do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you see who will be on the list and defense? Do you have an oral motion for the court?
Judge, I have an oral motion to withdraw due to the fact that I cannot communicate effectively with my client.
All right, and State, do you have any objection to the oral motion? All right, your motion to withdraw is granted and you are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Perez, we're going to have an attorney for you before you leave today. And also Ms. Ferguson, because he has a new number one, and because this is a motion to revoke, I'm going to need an immigration attorney as well. And an immigration attorney will be appointed as well. That immigration attorney will represent you with your immigration issues as they relate to this case. It's not to handle your entire immigration issues. Do you understand?
Yes.
And your attorney is going to be Rolando Origuez. And Ms. Ferguson will give you contact information for that attorney. Oh, I'm sorry, just one second. Norma, it needs to be somebody who's on the, at least on the second degree list. And can you check to see if he's on the second degree list? All right, and State with Elicio Rodriguez, that new number one, there's no chance that there is a enhancement to make it a first, is it?
Not a Bear County judge, and the other case doesn't have an enhancement, so I don't believe there will be an enhancement.
All right, so it will be Rolando Arguez. Do you have any questions?
So right now I'm gonna go back.
Yes, you're going to go back. And Ms. Ferguson, what date can we give him to come back? All right, you'll come back on March 23rd.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I can't forget.
Yes.
Your Honor, Mr. Hernandez was positive for methamphetamines. Yes. The CSO is currently working on a motion to revoke.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll move forward.
Yes. So just file it, it'll be signed. The attorney who's going to be representing him is Charles Bunk. All right. And if it's signed, Mr. Bunk, Norma, can you put Mr. Hernandez on the docket for tomorrow as well at 9 a.m.? Since Mr. Bunk is going to be here anyway. All right, we are in, well, I said we'll recess at noon, so at the noon hour, we're going on our recess. Yeah. So it's 11:52 a.m. And did Miss Elsa Becerra? Okay. All righty. And then Norma, Ornifo Ortiz Hunt. Could I see the file on Hunt, please? And Norma, on this case, Miss Hunt, can you recall her for Thursday? And let the attorney know that they need to be present. So Criminal Trial Division, Sophia Hunt on page 12. She will be back on Thursday. You're welcome. And Caroline, do we have any other more cases over there? Thank you. And then Xavier Garcia. Let me see what page he is on.
Yeah, he's an expert.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oh, and Bashan, if you can make sure that on Kayla Connor's case, that probation contacts those CPS workers, because nobody's been able to find her, to check on those children, and wherever the children are, that's probably where she is. So she's probably in Buda, Harris County, or there. And then Robert Halstead. That's coming back when?
Mr. Halstead was, he's on a wait list
Okay.
for an inpatient treatment facility, and I think that was just a phantom.
Ah, okay. So what is the update on that? Do we know when?
So he was just approved. He was evaluated to be in drug court,
Mhm.
and they couldn't take him.
Mhm.
So he was just like, it's going through the process.
Okay. So how much
So we can
longer?
probably put him on the docket for like, maybe like 30 days.
Okay. Norma, can I get a reset on Mr. Halstead for 30 days, a phantom date, please? Right, March 30th. All right, and then Wayne Tolliver. All right. Your attorney is not present, so you'll need to come back tomorrow. All right, so you have to come back tomorrow. Yes. You're welcome. All right, and Norma, Tolliver is coming back tomorrow at 9. And who are you asking about?
Page 11.
Oh, that case was dismissed. Oh, that's what I'm calling right now. Didendi Yarbrough. All right, Norma, contact Miss Kramer. Her client did show up.
Out of county. Wow.
Okay.
He said he was gonna go use the restroom. And he never came back. As a matter of fact, he never came back.
All right, so he has a warrant in 12?
Yes.
All right, could I have a prosecutor, please? Court is calling 2022 CR 8978, State of Texas versus Didendi Yarbrough. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. I'm being informed that the defendant was in the courtroom and he did check in, but he left once he discovered he had a warrant from County Court at Law number 12. And he is not in the courtroom now. And Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement in the hallway?
He's not.
State?
Your Honor, the state moves for a bond forfeiture.
That will be granted and he'll be remanded without bond.
Is that supposed to be on the record, Judge?
What the? Where is the? Somebody go grab the court reporter. What the heck? It's not 12.
You just play the video back.
Yeah.
That was funny. I like how you waited to the end.
Yeah. I'm like, what the heck? It's not 12. All right.
Sorry, I just forgot to answer the phone.
That's okay. We finished. We did everything. All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 8978, State of Texas versus Didendi Yarbrough. Could I have the state announced for the record?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
All right, this case was called at 9 a.m. The defendant was in the courtroom at 9 a.m. The court was informed that the defendant was told or informed, I'm assuming by his counsel, that he had a warrant out of County Court at Law number 12. The defendant left the courtroom and the defendant has not returned. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement in the hallway?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Your Honor, the state moves for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that'll be granted. He'll be remanded without bond. All right, then it is new. We're now going on our lunch break.
Judge, I answered the phone and I stepped out.
Oh, that's okay. No, it's Jason's fault because he saw me on the record and he saw the chair empty over there.
Probably just looking at the.
Your Honor, Ms. Ferguson advised me that Matt was here just for information. So we have him in the back and he's not the Spanish speaker. He needs my back.
Okay, all righty, all right. I'll just bring him out. I'll do it. It doesn't have to be on the record.